Time now for your forewarned weather with Cedric Haynes.
All right, happy Wednesday, everyone. Yes, winter making a return to some of our higher elevations. Now, this is actually closer to the lower elevations. I did want to show you this. This is around Park City here, but closer to the lower elevations of Park City. And you can see there we've got the snow even coming down this morning. Now, notice the roadways are just damp, no problems there, but you're starting to see a little light accumulation off towards the sides of the road. Could pick up a half an inch to an inch in some of the lower elevations in Park City, but you really got to get above 7,000, 7,500 feet to see any significant snow accumulations today. All right, here's the weather alerts here for you. We do have these winter weather alerts in effect for most of our northern mountains here, including the northern and southern Wasatch Mountains, over towards the Wasatch Plateau and the Book Cliffs, and then down towards the central and southern mountains where we could have some travel impacts today due to winter weather. We're likely going to see two waves of moisture, the one moving through and developing this morning, and then a secondary wave that will develop this afternoon and tonight. So you can see that first wave now really starting to fill in along the northern half of the state here along the I-15 corridor. In the valleys, again, that's falling in the form of some light rain that's out there. In the mountains, that's where we're seeing that snow or rain-snow mix showing up. And as we go throughout the day, we expect more of this activity to continue to fill in through the morning hours here. We've also had some of that moisture falling during the overnight hours in southern Utah. Even though we're getting a little bit of a break now, that's beginning to shift over towards eastern portions of the state as well. But some valley rain and mountain snow showing up also out there. So we'll see more of this continuing throughout the day in waves. The main core of the storm system is still off the California coast swirling there. So you can kind of see we've got wave number one moving through now, wave number two that will kind of make its way into the area this afternoon and tonight. And then we'll see wave number three with the actual core of the storm system arriving as we go into your Thursday. So that's why it's going to stay fairly unsettled. Now, did you notice that that warm front has made its way all the way up into Idaho? So not only is that going to create those rising snow levels up to about 7,000, 7,500 feet later today, but it will even give some of the valley locations here a chance of getting a couple of isolated rumbles of thunder. Now, I'm not expecting any severe weather, but just know, don't be surprised. You hear a rumble of thunder, see a flash of lightning out there with this atmospheric river that's kind of decaying, but still pretty strong as it moves through. So valley rain and mountain snow filling in along the I-15 corridor during your morning commute. We may see a little bit of a break as we get towards lunchtime into the early afternoon hours, but wave number two redevelops as we get into the late afternoon and evening hours with some valley rain and mountain snow. This is when we could even have a couple of isolated rumbles of thunder, and that chance will continue into the overnight hours with that valley rain and mountain snow. Some of that will be locally heavy at times. And then even on Thursday, that third round moves through with the low pressure, and we can still see some valley rain and mountain snow. Again, the main snow will be above about 7,000 feet as the system moves through. By Friday morning, we're seeing the last of that activity moving out of the state. Friday afternoon, we dry out. The weekend looks amazing. Perfect weather conditions here for us as we get into the weekend before a more active pattern moves in with another system knocking on the door for the beginning of next week. So as far as snowfall goes, again, we're looking at about 8 to 15 inches for the upper Cottonwoods. Most of the northern mountains, though, looking at about 6 to 12 inches. Up to 6 to 12 inches near Bryan Head, the Tushars in the southern mountains, but most areas about 2 to 6 inches. And then the Wasatch Plateau and the Book Cliffs, about 5 to 10 inches of snow expected. As far as rainfall, the valleys about a quarter to a half an inch on average up and down the I-15 corridor. So we'll take it. And look at the winter snow map here across the west as we get into next week. A colder and wetter pattern still looks likely. Could see some significant snow accumulations in the mountains. And yes, some lower elevation snow accumulations still look possible by the middle of next week. We're going to keep our fingers crossed as this pattern change is underway. St. George, off and on scattered rain chances for your Wednesday into Thursday, but drying it out for Valentine's Day weekend before that next round of active weather moves in next week. The Wasatch Front, off and on rain showers out there for your Wednesday into Thursday, but Valentine's Day weekend looking pretty good. And then notice we'll see more active weather arriving for most of next week. Matt?